there's a certain pressure on black men to be everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The protector, the hustler, have all the money, be fly, like have your sex game popping, like everything.
Definitely.
Like, do you feel it's a pressure?
So yeah, I'm gonna speak from my point of view. Hell yeah, I think it starts when the father's not in the picture, and you're the only son. And for me, I had a younger sister. I had to be the man of the house. I had to be the protector.
That too.
You know what I mean? I had to be the one making sure we was good. And I had to be the visionary. I had to say, nah, this is it. I want bigger than this. And that travels. So the pressure, man, the pressure of depression, the pressure of real life reality. Some of us are living our second childhood. That's depression in itself, the mental aspect of what's going on, trauma. It's a lot of pressure, but they say, not to be corny and but pressure does bust pipes, right? So if you can face the pressure of life and keep pushing through, you'll be all right.
Yeah. TK. Jersey. I've been on the grind, man, all it took was patience. That money on my mind, man, all I see is hating. He jocking on the low, man, you know the kid is wavy. Like how you mad at me when you know you're fucking lazy. Should've changed. What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Health is Key, and we have another banger for you, the Health and Hip Hop Podcast Show with my amazing co-hosts.
Composer Brown.
Yeah, and as always, we have another one for you. We have three awesome gentlemen, real men in the building. Too many to name, so I would love for y'all to name yourselves, introduce yourselves. I guess we could go Ibn, Keo, and Keese. So yeah, introduce yourselves, please. Let the people know who you are, what you do, and also where they can find you at from the beginning of the rip of the show.
Alright, so this is your boy Beneficial. You can find me on Instagram, The Real Beneficial. I'm a personal trainer, nutritionist, a young black entrepreneur. I do all the hip hop. I do it all.
It's Keo. You can find me on Instagram, KEYO_LMLD. I'm just an entrepreneur, father, family man, brother. You call it. I'm that.
Keese, my name is Keese, entrepreneur as well, amongst the other kings in the room. I wear a lot of hats as well. You can find me on Instagram, BWS_massage. I run an on-demand massage therapy company, so yeah, we here.
Okay, so if y'all don't know, we love to pretty much let our listeners be able to relate to y'all, so we find that one of the great ways that they can relate to y'all is by who y'all favorite artists are, who y'all favorite hip-hop artists are. So can y'all go into, we'll keep that same order when we have questions for all three of y'all. But when it comes to hip-hop, right, who is your favorite artist and why?
Jadakiss. Reason why? Because to me, it's not just about hits. It's all about bars as well. Content, lyrics, keeping that shit real. And Kiss, he just embodied all of that junk, you know what I mean? Plus, when you come from the hood, that's everybody do, you know what I mean? Kiss.
Yeah.
Is it.
Facts. That's a good one.
It's kind of tough. I'm torn between Pop and Hov.
Really?
Yeah, but I'll go with Pop. I say Pop because stuff Pop was talking about years ago, it's still relevant now, things that's going on now, and it's just amazing to me how he's seen these things going in play years ago, and this is what's going on now. Police brutality, poverty, all that type of stuff, you know what I mean? All the pop music, it was it meant something. It just wasn't music he just making for the money, you know what I mean? It wasn't just about the money with Pac. It was he really trying to touch his people and point them in the right direction and really enlighten them on what's going on in the world, and yo man, he could go up against the best lyricists or whatever if it went that, and he was versatile. Like he was the blueprint. Like he like told rappers like you just don't have to be a rapper. You could be a rapper. You could be an actor. All pop movies he was in was hits. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It wasn't like no BS. Like he really was a good actor.
Yeah, you really
So
thought
he
that
like-
was him. Like,
He
when you see
really,
Pop,
yeah, he really laid the blueprint out for like rappers. So yeah, it have to be Pop.
You have a favorite Pac song? Cause that's
You
my
always
favorite.
ask
That's
it.
my favorite rapper too.
whoever
So
said
the
Pop, he
Pac
always
song,
had
number one,
Nah.
numero uno. Favorite one, or one that just stick out to you the most.
too many of them.
Hellraiser.
That's it. Yeah.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
That's Are You Still Down?
Yeah.
I was just listening to this. What's the name of the song, man?
How it go?
I take a fifth of Hennessy and I'm strong enough to face the mask.
What is it, man?
He's singing a lot of songs about Hennessy.
Yeah,
It's too many about Hennessy. He had whole songs about his Hennessy.
definitely be Pop though.
I feel you, I feel you.
See, I ain't think about that obviously. I was just word.
It's, ooh, I get it.
I
I
was
totally
definitely
get it.
Pop.
I changed that quick.
Hold on, don't sleep on Kiss.
Nah, your point with Kiss was great.
What's up with
For me, I'm gonna go with Hov. I gotta go with Jay-Z. I think I admire his body of work from Reasonable Doubt when I was a young fella, but I ain't hear about Reasonable Doubt until after Volume 1. I think that was in my lifetime. I heard about Reasonable Doubt. So just his hustle, he was just a hustler. And me growing up, just having that hustle mentality, it kind of raised me to where now he became a businessman and he influenced, whether it was sports, clothing, liquor, branding, you name it. So I got to go with Jay-Z.
So that's pretty odd to me though, because usually people would say, I heard Reasonable Doubt first, and then I started glazing into the other catalog. How did that go for you? Just going here in Volume 1, that was more so commercial, and more so Reasonable Doubt was more so like underground, if you would say.
I think I was young, so I was like 12, 13. So when I heard Volume 1, my mother introduced me to Volume 1 when she gave me the little poster, a little cassette tape. So,
Cassettes.
yeah, I think that's what kind of put Jay on, and then Reasonable Doubt became a classic over time because it was his first piece of work. So, yeah.
So speaking of that, we have just a bunch of topics that we really want to talk about. But since we're on the music topic, as far as y'all favorite albums, what were some of the type of music or type of rappers or albums you were listening to as a child, or as between childhood and teenager? Because I definitely want to know how that affect y'all. So before we even get into that, what's some of the albums you were bumping, as a kid?
Kiss only or
Nah, whatever albums. What was your top? Like 3 or 4 albums
Get
that
What
you?
You Got Trying.
Get What You Got Trying. Right. I was like in the 2000s.
The We Are the Streets.
That one.
Oh,
Right
yeah,
there.
I snuck out the crib to go and like buy that joint.
You said We Are the Streets. Yeah, that was a banger. Still a banger.
The Diplomatic Immunity.
Mm.
That joint. The Motivation 101.
Facts.
Those
That's
are
good.
bangers.
Yeah, those are all
Yeah,
bangers.
indeed, it'll have
That's
to be
all bangers.
Big, Life After Death,
Mm.
Pop, All Eyes on Me.
Mhm.
No, I'm gonna take that one back. Machiavelli.
Yeah, that was.
It
Yeah,
had
that
to be
was.
Machiavelli. I listened to that like this, kept all through. Like you don't even have to hit switch nothing. Be my last one. It'd have to be Nas. His second album.
That's It Is Written.
Yeah, it was written.
That's that joint.
Them the ones that like me growing up as a kid, like I just always played, you know what I mean?
Y'all name some hits, so I'm gonna say Reasonable Doubt in my lifetime. Definitely a couple of was Machiavelli. That was hard. Jeezy, Thug Motivation, 103. Carter 1, Carter 2.
Yeah, forgot about
Facts, Dave. It's too many.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
So yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So like, all right. So one of the reasons why we really have y'all up here is just because of the growth that y'all have, just from as men to the younger y'all or the younger you. So I just remember having a conversation with you, Ibn, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you saying like that listening to certain hip hop songs, even though it has a positive effect on us as well, of course it does, but it also has a negative effect on us as well within the black community. And yeah, can you talk about that? Because I remember we had a conversation about this just probably a year or so ago, I don't remember, and you were saying like, you know for a fact that
Definitely.
it encouraged you to do some negative things. Because y'all coming, I don't want to call them negative because we know what goes on in our neighborhood. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing is for survival tactics. But y'all have come out of that lifestyle. So I want to know, do you think and believe or feel that hip-hop played a role in some of the choices y'all made as younger men?
Me? Most definitely. Because, like, if I'm listening to Kiss the Locks, and every track is about robbing, about drug dealing. And I'm 14 years old, 14, 15. And that's on, I memorized that whole album, like track for track. Now, that's programming the mind, you know what I mean? So I'm like, so, like, when you at the age where you like, damn, these dudes is out here, like this right here is how they paying their bills, they paying rent, they getting money. I'm in high school. You gotta look fly. Niggas got the jerseys on, they got the hats on, and the good parents ain't about getting that for you. See, that was me. I never was like the type that like, I'm about to go like sell drugs, hustle. Nah, that's like too long for me. Like, I'd rather wait for a nigga to hustle, and then I'm gonna get his ass like on some real quick shit. I used to go like
that's different mentality.
Like for real. And when you think about it, like it was all for sneakers, yo. Like I started out robbing niggas when I was 15. So like for sneakers, like that peer pressure, like when you in high school and them seniors, everybody, man, you like nah. So hell yeah. So when you listening to like these rappers and majority of the content is robbing and killing. That joint, like it makes it easier for you to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And it's like affirmations. Like you want to reprogram the mind. Affirmations. You play them shits daily, day in, day out, day in, day out. So when you listening to hip hop, gangster music, day in and day out, like you programming the mind the same way. You know what I mean? So by the time you jump in the streets, that ain't about nothing.
Right, because you already been programmed for all of it.
Exactly.
Was it the same for y'all? Like, do y'all feel like it had an effect on y'all too, or nah? That's just it wasn't.
For me, it's like kind of like this. I'd say it was more like with movies with me. You know, cause I go see some Scarface and I think I could go traffic 100 keys up and down the highway. You know what I mean? Or I watch some the Mac and think I'm just a man out here for the ladies, you know what I mean? So like it was more like the movies for me, but when it come to like music, I'd say it have an influence on you for sure. It definitely have an influence on you.
I didn't even think about the movie aspect, but yeah, that's true. That's definitely true too.
It definitely have an influence on you for sure. You know, like I feel like it don't tell you what you're gonna do in life, whether it's robbing, hustling, whatever it is. It just give you that motivation towards what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because like you could be in the streets hustling, you throw some Jeezy on, you running that thing up crazy. You feel what I'm saying? My boy Ib, he said he was getting his off the arm. You know what I mean? So he throw some chic styles in there. It's gonna get physical for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just motivates you for what you went to.
That's
what I say.
It's a great way to put it.
And that's good that
that's
you
a great way
that,
of putting it.
Because you'll always hear the rapper, especially like in the early 90s or the 80s, you'll hear like a Dapper Dan saying like, the real ones who was really in the streets was the gangsters. and they influence the rappers. So when you hear like a Scarface
Facts.
or like a the Mac, when I think of Scarface, you saying that, first thing that come to my mind is thinking about Paid in Full.
Facts.
You know, when they was in the
Yeah.
movie theater and they was like Scarface came out and just the dialogue in that.
Exactly.
The Mac, it go hand in hand. Hip hop with movies, so that's
Definitely.
dope.
Mhm.
What
Same
about you,
thing.
Keith?
I think going back to what bro was just saying, music it influenced me in different ways, but I think it's based on what you into. So the mindset of elevation of looking good. I think when I was young, I just wanted to look good and be cool. I was that cool kid. Bubble North Face, Timbs, Wade cap.
He came in.
You know what I mean? So
The peak coat.
So that was just always my vibe. So that Nas vibe, that J vibe, I think it influenced me in a positive way because I always wanted to get money and look good. But some of the music we go back to, like the Locks, it gives you that awareness of the streets. So meanwhile you want to look good, you also need to be aware of what the fuck you at when your surroundings and what you into. So I was into both of that, like with hustlers and with game bangers, and you know, you choose your poison.
Nah, definitely. I want to say definitely because me and Ron went to school together. So like I know you from Irvington, right, Evan? Or North? North or
Both.
oh, so North and Irvington, North, right?
No, yeah.
So, all right, so I know Ralph, you from North, but we went to school in Hillside. So if y'all don't know, you know, Hillside is like the outskirts of Newark. So for us, it was a really
Yeah, it is.
suburban area. But it was crazy because, like, yo, we really went to school with people who had fathers and mothers, like, and we lived in a good neighborhood, and they was acting like they was trying to go to Newark to where the problems were, and to gang bang and then come back home. And it was like crazy because I'm like, dang, you know, at that time we in high school, it's 2003, so that's when the Wayne was blood heavy and the Jeezy was the Crip heavy. So it was, we would just see that, and I'm like, dang, you know. So I didn't really experience a lot of deaths because they was leaving and coming back, but I definitely did experience deaths in our school of nonsense. Let me not say nonsense, I'm not gonna use that word, but of just times from just honestly going back to the hood, going and getting into things because that's what you're listening to, that's what you're watching. So for me, I wasn't into any of that. I would listen to music, but I would look at dudes and look, I'm like, I want to be a little gangbanger because I'm listening to that for me. So that's what that did. But watching the kids in my school, it had a really bad effect because they was doing crazy stuff for no absolute no reason.
So them people like them type of people, you know, they see the people who like, which was myself, who ain't have a choice. Like I was kind of born into that type of lifestyle. You know, my father, my mother, my uncles, my sister. You know what I mean? Like it's like a generational thing. It's bad to say, but it was what it was. You know what I mean? It made me the man that I am today. I wouldn't take nothing back. You know, but those kids see like people like me. You feel what I'm saying? And they think it's cool, but this ain't cool. This ain't even normal for a 13, 12-year-old to be going to New York, busting moves, coming back, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
doing
facts.
real grown-up things.
Nah,
You
facts.
feel what I'm saying? And
Nah,
gotta worry about somebody trying to rob you, kicking the house.
13, 14, that's deep.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, you feel me? So they just be caught up in the hype, you know what I mean? Then they come out here, you know, and they don't know nothing about nothing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sleptwalk too.
Them people just be people, just stunt people. You know what I mean? Or you want to be around? Take this 100 pack and just stand out there. Yo, hit my phone and everything's everything. They go, look out for bro. Yo, you got that, cool.
Dang.
That's it. And that's why they catch bad breaks because they don't have that killer instinct in them. You know what I mean? They don't know. They just caught up in the hype. You feel me?
Facts.
And that's why they go back home and it just be ugly. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But I think it's different when you actually live and come from that actual environment where you be on 50 a little bit different. So like you was brought up in that environment, but you was still listening to that music. So it allowed your awareness to be a little bit different than somebody that live in suburbia and coming back to the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in 440, you know, so with me living in 440 and seeing how stuff was going down and then moving to Hillside, it's like I ain't trying to really do that stuff because I seen what that could get you. You know, plus my father, he was incarcerated a large part of my life. So
Same.
just hearing the game that he was giving me through letters and just talking with me around, make sure that you stay on track, make sure you in school. Because he was out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? He from Prince Street Project. So it's like, you giving me the real deal. So when I hear this music, him and Mom Duke's telling me, nah, this stuff entertainment for the most part. You want to make sure that you listening to it, but you ain't trying to really feed into it like that, because this is where it's going to get you. And I got a real life example from my pops, like, no, this is where it's going to get you. So I think that's like dope that you could be in an environment like that and still listen to that and still know how to move a little differently.
And be aware.
Somebody that's really not from there and come back and try to act like it.
That's called being a leader.
Facts.
Well, shoot, speaking of fathers, because I didn't even know that.
That's
you
crazy.
said you was born into that situation. So, as far as the father aspect, did y'all have relationships with y'all father, and how did that affect y'all? So, I guess we could let's switch the order. Let's go. Keep this.
I think early on, I looking at some old pictures, I had like a somewhat of a relationship with my father, but my father was locked up 11 years of my life, 10, 11 years. So when he got locked up, I had to be about 9, 10. And when he came home, I was 21. So that shift right there was me, a young boy trying to become a man. And the only thing I had was what was in front of me was the street. So I think now looking back, I spend more time with my father now. I think I had to realize, like, you know what, that was just trauma I went through, or him being locked up, that was decisions he made, which, you know what I mean, put him where he at today. But being able to still reconnect and forgive whatever energy we had amongst each other because he was gone, I think the time we spent together is real. You know what I mean? He'd come to my crib just to fix some shit around the house. And just working with him on a day like that, it makes me realize, like, all right, you know what I mean? What the past was the past.
Fire.
Yeah.
How was it for you just not having him there, like, physically? Was he, like, still involved through, like, phone calls, through letters?
Kind of relating to what you were saying. Now that I think back, them letters definitely paid attention. Like, knowing that what he'd been through, and that environment, whatnot, and just him in the letters kind of just giving me guidance, like, stay on the right track, you know what I mean? Stay in school, do this, do that. I read it, but he ain't there in the physical. So I can't sit there and say, like, I did everything right, and nah, you know what I mean? I made my choice. But I was still aware at the same time, because of those letters, I was still aware, like, all right, if I make this choice, it's going to end me here, you know what I mean? Or learn from whatever mistake I made, but, yeah.
So how do you feel like, or how was it that y'all reconnected? You know, because a lot of people, especially our men in our communities, we don't grow up with our fathers, you know what I'm saying? So that play out into our music and what we doing in our lifestyles, because we don't have that guidance. So how was it for you to be able to reconnect with your pops? Like, how did y'all do that?
And too, because I really want people to learn
That's
from
real.
this, who's going through this, because I know even some of my little cousins who fathers coming home, just that reconnection thing, because that happened to you too. So can you please go into
It'd be awkward.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, how was that reconnection phase when your father come out?
It was very awkward, because I'm a man now, and he trying to tell me, like, he was just very nervous, like, hey, don't do this, slow down, like, just wear your seatbelt. Like, when he first came home, he was just all by the book, and I'm already experienced life by then. I'm 22 years of age, so at that time, I just had to deal with it, because I think I was just happy to have him in the physical. But now, 10 years later, I'm 35 now, my father 50, almost pushing 60. I think because I have a family and my situation, me inviting him into that is something he never had. But it brings us together just based off the minimum things we working on, this around the crib, like, I think just having him around my family kind of bring us together, because I invite him into my energy.
My pops is a G, man. Straight up, man. My pops is a straight G. You know, he came from that Akbar Prey era. You know, that's who he used to run with down Hill Manors, Brick Towers, Prince. You know, and then he came up, you know, up this way. yeah, you know, one thing my pops, he taught me, man, is hustling, had that hustling ambition, you know, gift for gab, survival, you know. He taught me that, and you know, that's to me, you can't just walk in the store and buy that, you know. And like nowadays, like I'll be looking for somebody to like find a worker to like go in the truck, and I'm really like going on Indeed and things like this, you feel me? And you try to stick with your own kind, you know what I mean? But they be the laziest people. Like they don't be having no hustle in them, no ambition, and it just be just mind-boggling to me. Like, yo, this is crazy, and it just make you appreciate, you know, what your father, what my father taught me. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, he was in and out of prison. You know what I mean? And that's where the survival kind of instinct kicked in, and me having to become a man before my time, because it was like. I already had about this time, I was probably like, what, 10?
And how many brothers and sisters?
I was about to say,
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you definitely do.
At this time, I probably was already like four siblings in. You know what I mean?
What's 5 of y'all?
At
that time.
Yeah. So
I told how much I told because
it's
that's
nine.
so beautiful to
It's
me.
9 of us, same parents. You know.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he always told
It's
us,
a
like,
blessing.
Yeah.
You know,
I love y'all.
stick
family
together,
so
stick
built to me
together.
that
It's
way.
family, stick together. That's why we the way we is now. You know, we don't let none of the outside BS get in the middle of, you know, our family business. You feel me? Whatever we going through, we gonna figure it out. We ain't letting it go outside of this. You know what I mean? We gonna figure it out, argue about it. Tomorrow be calling me like, yo, what you doing? I'm coming over. It's just that simple. We ain't talking for months and none of that. You know what I mean?
Learn from this dude right here.
So, you know, I see
That's
people
real.
going through that, and it make you appreciate what you have. Cherish that, you know what I mean? So, but not to get off topic, you know what I mean? But, you know, my pops was in and out of prison or whatever the case may be, and it just made me, you know, turn into like survival mode, because now my mother can't do it on her own. So I'm technically the man of the house at like 11 years old.
Dang.
So, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just finding my way, you know what I mean? Whether it's hitting stashes or whatever I had to do at the time, I'm doing that, and I'm bringing the money back in the house, whether it's food or whatever. And the first time when I really made some money, I was, I think I was going to pass out papers or something. Like, there was like election time, you had to go to the house and pass out flyers or something.
Wow.
They was paying $20 or whatever. That was a big deal to me. I was grinding
hell
that
yeah.
thing. I was up early in the morning grinding that thing. And even back then I had that, I'm punctual, I'm on it, I'm hustling, you know, even back then, now that I think about it. But I bought my family some pizza with the whole 20. And I bought that thing in there. I'm 11 years old, 2 big ass boxes of pizza coming up in the crib, and they just was happy. Like, that was my turning point right then and there.
That energy had to be
That
crazy.
was my turning point right there. I said, man, I'm gonna always put smiles on their faces, and that's what led
That's
into
real.
getting in the street, selling this, selling that. The more money you get, the more problems, the more deep into it you getting, because now the more money you getting, the more enemies you creating.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Now you're around different people. Their problems is becoming your problems, because whatever they into, now you into, and you don't even know what they really into, because they ain't really putting you up on.
Dang,
It's just crazy, you know what I mean? So now you getting real and deep in depth to it, you know what I mean? And then the transition be real. But, you know, just to say that, yeah, my pops, man, may he rest in power, man. But yeah, my pops was a G. And he taught me, like, you know, if you're gonna be living this lifestyle, you gotta take what is dishing out. Basically, don't fold, you know what I mean? Don't go doing this and now you want to tell on him or none of that. Nah, you want to do this, you got to take what he's giving out to you. Straight like that. He gave it to me raw and uncut, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I definitely appreciate those
That's
lessons.
deep.
What about you, Ed?
My pops was different, My pops was into the streets when he was young, like 14, 15. You know what I mean? He got hooked on drugs and he turned Muslim back in like 1976. So during that time, Muslims was like militant, like they were strict as hell. So that kind of like saved his life, you know what I mean? So he became faithful like to the next level, like when it came to that. So when it came to like his kids, he was like super strict. So everything that he tried to keep us from, that's everything that I was like going towards. You know what I mean? So I ain't really started listening to music until like 2001, cause I had to sneak and listen to music like that. Like I really had to like that's how he was.
That's tough.
That's real discipline. Damn.
He was like
from your parents.
He was like real strict, and I learned from that because you can't be like that strict with your kids. It's gonna work against you. You know what I mean? You trying to push them to go this way, but they trying to turn around to see what's going on back there.
Facts.
You trying to turn their head that way. Like, bro, I'm like, you know what I mean? So, but the relationship, you know what I mean? Like now I'm kind of like older, so I understand that, you know what I mean? But I try to just, you know what I mean? Cause I don't like follow like the Dean had, like he want me to follow it. So we always like clash right there. Cause my understanding is different now, man. Like you can't program, like that shit is a programming for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that joint really program people to just live like one fucking way, you know what I mean? And it's like,
That's real.
It's like if you try to question anything outside of that, they like, nah, that's the gym, that's the shaitan.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like increase my faith.
Right.
So if I question certain things, that's like, nah, man. So, but I know that like that's how he is. So I just keep it like cordial with him. You know what I mean?
Wow. What about you, bro?
Well, like my pops?
Yeah, how has that affected you?
A lot. You know, just growing up with him not being there, it's like y'all said, you gotta attend and you gotta look around, you gotta observe different things. So I'm learning through the music, or I'm trying to get this little bit over here from my uncle, or this uncle over here, you know, but nothing is not really materializing internally for me. Like I can identify with them. So for me, just growing up, like my mother shared different things with me. So it's like, all right, you're a young man, I'm going to make sure that you got what you need, but I can't really give you all that you need, you know what I'm saying? So, like, she taught me, like, all right, well, you got to make sure that you ain't hitting different females. Like, you know, you got to make sure that you understand that your penis is just as valuable as a female's vagina. So, with me, growing up, I lost my virginity by age 16, you know what I'm saying? But I'm good with that, but I ain't had my pops to be able to say different things like that, like how you said, Keys, earlier. In the letters, you had some game in the letters, but you ain't really had physicality right there, so you can't really connect like that. You know, so like even now, my pops is out, and it's funny because he was at the halfway house, like, you know, a couple doors down, so it's just like wow. It's crazy, but and it's funny because I'm vegan now, and during that time I was still eating McDonald's, so I'm just trying to get him some food and whatnot. Brought him some food, brought him some McDonald's. He kind of looked at me. He ain't really want to like tear me down, but it's like I don't really eat all that. But I ain't understand it. I was just like, oh, all right. So now I can understand, because me looking back, I don't even eat McDonald's, so I'll be in the same spot that he was. But I really ain't really get that hands-on, that male experience that I really needed to. So it turned me different, whereas like how you said, now I raise my son different. You know, my son is 11. I make sure that he doing what he needs to do, but I ain't too strict with him. I make sure that I'm flexible. I make sure that I model what it is that I want him to bring forth. So, like, if I'm doing something that's foul, I want you to hold me accountable to it too. Because I can't be teaching you, telling you, all right, you got to do such and such. Because when we growing up, especially us in our communities, nah, you got to do as I say, don't do as I do.
Yep.
Like, what? What type
of makes
stuff
sense.
is that? You know what I'm saying? So it just make me just sturdy up in a different way. Like, you got to be right. I just graduated from Rutgers, so Me
Huge.
working, going to school, plus having a part-time job too, plus raising him full-time, single dad. So it's
Yeah.
like, nah, I gotta
That's
make
deep.
sure that I'm showing you what's what. So I graduated Rutgers 3.3, National Honor Society. And it's
Huge,
like,
bro.
bro, if I'm making Dean's List, you gotta step your game up too. Cause you ain't doing as much as I'm doing and I'm juggling. But I'm showing you, this the game right here. I'm not telling you to do something that I ain't gonna do. So
Lead by example.
it really helped me to do just that, to really lead by example, because I ain't have my pops to be able to tell me, you gotta do this, da-da-da-da. So everything that I wanted my pops to do, I make sure that I do with him. So now, you know, I invited him, you know what I'm saying? Yo, we need to have a grown father-son relationship. You know, and he ain't know how to have that, so it's like, I gotta identify with what I'm saying, like, because they really don't know, and it's like, he ain't have his pops either.
Yeah.
So if he ain't have his pops, then all right, we gotta break this generational curse, bro. We ain't just about to be. I need to be like Keo family, like, you know.
Fact up.
We gonna
Fact
keep it in
up.
house. If we got problems going on, we need to hash that out. Like, come on, we gotta break generational curse.
Holding on
It's
grudges
other
for
brothers
years,
that need
man.
us. We like our black community. We need each other. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us ain't grew up with our pops, so probably had the strongest relationship with them. So it definitely played a part.
I'm gonna touch on that just for a second, because I think I became the father I always wanted my father to be in his absence.
Right.
Just being on, because I have a son who's 11 years old, and the moment my son was born, it was motivation for me to say, I need to really shift. I need to let go of a few homies and really get to work, because there's a responsibility right here that it wasn't planned for. And that right there really showed my worth. Like, I'm becoming a man, because I made sure I went to work every day. I made sure I was disciplined in my actions. I made sure as he got older, he became 2, 3 years old. I'm showing him, leading by example, showing him, like, listen, if you want something, son, go for it. Don't let nobody tell you different. And to see where he's at now at 11, how he just handled his own schedule, how he managed being an actor, being a good student in school, you know, just being a great child, just managing all that, and just managing life, being a black boy. You know what I mean? Sometimes I look at that and say, damn, I wanted that life, but I had to make my way to create that life for him. And that's real.
Dang. Speaking of that, and how you said that was like your wake-up call, like, yo, I gotta be a leader. And all of y'all are grown and everything, and y'all have your businesses and y'all have your families and things of that nature. So when it comes to just that decision, if y'all are willing to, can y'all share like a time for you where you were like, yo, you was on this side, because y'all are clearly on this side, right? But y'all were here at some point coming up, you know. So what do you feel was like some of your, or one of your main things that happened when you like, oh nah, I gotta change, or I gotta start going towards this way in my life?
That's deep.
Let me start this one off. You know, when I was younger and I was getting into trouble and I was, you know, going in and out of jail or whatever, I always seen the old heads and I'm like, man, I ain't gonna be like that. That's crazy. Old as hell still, man. And then
That's real. That's real.
they'll see
Wow.
be like a son and father in together. They're like, yo, that's my
Dang.
pops. Yo, what's good? You know what I mean? See my pops in X amount of years. Damn, what's up? And I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna be me. Then as I got older, I'm like, damn, I'm having kids, and I'm like, yo, this is possibly me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm missing out on, like, real stuff that's going on, and, you know, you see, like, your kids not having, and, you know, things like that, and then it's like, you know, they kind of turning into what you came from, getting it out the mud. You never want your kids to get it out the mud. You know what I mean? That's just insane. You feel what I'm saying?
Fact though.
Everything you can do so they don't have to get it out the mud. Ain't nothing cool about getting it out the mud.
At all.
Just rap that and make it seem cool, you know? Ain't nothing cool about that.
It comes a lot of pain too.
So, you know,
That's deep.
last bid I did, I came home, man. It was hard. You know, I ain't had nobody sending me no money, nothing. I did mine straight. Whatever state pay I was getting, which was like $15 a month from working, that and a little muscle here and there, you know what I mean? So I'm just keeping it real, man. You know, that's how I had to get mine. You know, 3.5 years of that. And I'm like, man, you know, and that time it's like, you gotta have money to go to prison. You gotta have money because
Dang, that's crazy.
You can pay for your own phone, put minutes on there, all this stuff. So like, food costs $1.15 for one pack of noodles. You know what I mean? So like, you gotta have money to go to prison.
Damn, that's the
Whatever money I had went on my lawyer. That was it. I just had lawyer money. Either I was gonna bail out or I was going to pay for my lawyer. I said, I'm going to pay for this lawyer and face the music. I'm going to have to turn myself in anyway. I get back out there. I'm going to get into some other trouble. Now I'm building my whole nut. I'm like, nah, I'm going to just handle this shit like a man. So, man, I got down. It was hard for me. And then when you come home, it's even harder because, like, you don't have nothing. You know what I mean? Your siblings or something might get you a little sweatsuit, some sneakers. Yo, man, that's all I got because it's tough on me too. You know what I mean? So, like, that was my turning point right there. And I said, nah, man, the risk is too crazy. You know, now you getting charged for drugs, what a person that get charged for murder.
Facto.
Like, what the hell type of game I'm into?
Drugs.
It's too crazy. So I'm like, nah, I can't do the time no more. I felt it. I said, if I can't do the time no more, I ain't doing the crime.
It's real shit.
And I just grind that shit out, man. BS jobs, you know what I mean? I just, you know, that's what I said. My pops blessed me to be a hustler, man. I get up in there, 2 jobs, whatever I had to do, you know. And
that's real, man. Shit.
turned it up.
Nah, facts.
That's
We're going to get into that. I definitely want to talk about that.
That's real.
Anybody else want to share? Somebody
What was that? What was that question again?
The turning point for that made your mind say, I need to be
shift.
a different person. You'll start working towards that.
I think it was a couple of turning points. Like, you'll think at one point it was a turning point, then you kind of go right back.
That's a good point.
So it is not always sometimes it's a 360. So my first turning point was right before I got accepted to go to college. So I grew up on Court Street. A lot of my friends, and nobody was in a position to go to college, but yet we was in the streets doing what we doing. And that was, for me, that was my way of saying, all right, this will help me get to where I need to get to in life. Like, I was always a purpose, always had purpose and a vision just based on everything we talked about today. But then I was hustling, and it was a time when I got chased. I got into a real big chase, and I was supposed to go to college that weekend. And if I would have got caught, it would have been over. I ain't had no record. I had a little weed charge. No, at that time, I had no record. Take it back. This was before I even caught a charge. And I was running for my life. That I got away, smoked them, bust their ass, then dropped all types of coke bombs. Anyway, that moment right there, I think that fear of if I would have got caught, it would have been over for me. Like, everything that I prayed for, dreamed for would have been over. The opportunity wouldn't have been there. And then as I got older, it was a point in my life when I was in college now. I was selling weed in college, bringing all the homies up there, just trying to show them something different. I went to school right in Hackettstown, New Jersey, so that's a 45-minute drive from my hood, Court Street. So I'm bringing all the homies up. We were just talking about this with my lady in the house, how I used to always have everybody on campus and nobody never. I met Dom in college, yeah. So when I got arrested on college for selling weed, and this was in Warren County, and I had to face this charge. I had to get a lawyer, face this charge. They were trying to give me a couple of years for something minimum in Warren County, but I had the similar charge at North that got thrown out. But in Warren County,
yeah, whole new county.
Yeah, so that moment when I was in college, I think I had to be a junior in college. They tried to give me a year. I ended up getting 33 days in jail while I was in college. When I got released, it was during winter break, so it was like a perfect time where I ain't really missed no classes. So I slid right back in college, but then I had to go through the adversity of getting back in. Because I got arrested on campus, they kicked me off campus. Long story short, I fought that shit. Where at that moment, when I felt like I almost lost the opportunity in life, everything I worked for, I didn't want to go back to the hood. Because I'm standing on campus and I'm supposed to be the leader of my family. When I got kicked out and I got arrested, it was over for me at that point. So that was a turning point in my life. I realized, all right, let me just stay focused on what's important.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Man. I never knew that. Wow. Was that
Yeah.
one, Ed?
Yeah, definitely. Mine was June 30th.
June 30th.
Damn, man, date, damn. I ain't get no dates, no age, or nothing.
June 30th, 2000.
That's real.
The day I had to go into court and turn myself in to do 4 years, yo. Like, yo, that shit is hard, yo.
Yeah.
How was that night before that? Not to cut you off, but how can you like sleep
Yo,
and
you
knowing you
would
got
like
You're not
you would
sleeping.
think that you would think that leading up to that day you're gonna be fucking doing. I couldn't have sex at all, yo.
Mental wasn't there.
Shit was gone. I'm drinking, smoking.
I don't even know that
I'm
feeling.
doing all this shit just to like the build up to June 30th. That shit was like, I got 3 months left.
Damn.
4 months left. Then weeks. Then tomorrow, I gotta go into court tomorrow. The way I felt, yo, like when you see your family crying and shit,
Damn.
I knew I ain't built for this shit.
That's real shit.
I'm not built for this shit, yo. Like, to turn around, put your shit behind your back so they can put cuffs on you, bro.
And leaving it.
Fuck. That shit felt crazy as hell. Like, I instantly changed, yo. Like, that's how it was. Like, the judge could have been like, nah, like.
At that moment?
Yo, at that moment, I changed right there, bro.
Damn.
Bro.
That's real.
Hey, that's deep.
Wow.
That's real.
I'm thinking like through the adversity, like the struggle after
You know it's
that.
real. My boy know
Damn.
that date.
Damn.
That shit real. That's real.
That shit hit.
Because I've
Woo.
always been like getting locked up a week here, 2 weeks here, nigga, for for a fucking fight, bro. I mean, shit turned to like, bro, yo, I've done way worse things, but then I ended up getting locked up for a fight that turned into a fucking robbery. Got 4 years flat for that shit.
Damn.
Dang, yo.
Damn.
My
Damn.
Cody done told on me.
Oh man.
I'm like, nah, I ain't built for this shit, yo. This shit, I'm like, yo, I just changed right there, yo. I'm like, yo, the judge could have been like, nigga, you good, go home, and I would have been good. Like, dead ass. Yo, when you seeing your family crying, your girl crying, it's like kids crying because you did some stupid shit, you like, nah,
Were you a father at that time?
yeah.
Damn. That's deep.
When you had your first kid?
That's deep.
2005.
2005.
2005.
Do y'all have any advice for any men that's going in that battle of going back and forth or feel like they stuck? Because I remember, and not sure how Sir feels about this now, but I remember we went to, it was me, Dre, Surf, and a couple other people, not even gonna name, but we went to, they went to West High. I was glad I could go because they were talking to all the trouble boys. And I remember Surf saying, this was years ago, and I remember him talking to them about, you know, the feeling of feeling stuck, like, or if you're in a gang or something like that and you feel like you stuck, like, meaning like you gotta always come back to help or always gotta come back because maybe you were so loyal. He didn't say that verbatim, I just remember him saying about him or the feeling stuck. So I took it as like, dang, you know, always having to feel loyal and help that other person because he might have did some stuff for you back in the day. So do y'all have like any advice for any men that's in that realm of feeling stuck or going back and forth but haven't made that complete turn?
I would say, stay true to yourself.
Mm.
You know, if you feel it ain't right, it ain't right. You know, it ain't nothing corny about having a 9 to 5 or, you know, don't get caught up in the hype, man.
Mm.
You know, don't get caught up in the hype, man. Ain't nothing cool about gang banging, burying your best cat, you know. Going to have to talk to their moms.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They don't even have the money to bury them. They looking for you because they know you got a few dollars. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Ain't nothing cool about that. It ain't nothing cool about that because you get caught up with this, your right hand man, they gonna tell on you. They telling. You know what I mean? So just stay true to yourself. You know, stay true to yourself. If you feeling stuck, that mean, you know, you thinking right, man. Do what you thinking to do, you know? Just stay true to yourself. Because a lot of people be thinking like, or they not gonna be cool, or they ain't gonna mess with me, or like the thing, the loyalty thing, like I'm loyal to the streets. That's that
that's what it
mindset
is right there.
sick, you know. Like you would be loyal
That's what it
to
is right
something
there.
that don't even care about you, but you're not even loyal to your kids that way.
That's real shit,
You know what
damn.
I mean? You're not even loyal to your kids that way, but you loyal to something that don't even care about you. You feel what I'm saying? So once you identify that, you know, you'll be straight. Just stay true to yourself.
And I think as a man, at some point, you being stuck becomes your reason of being stuck. And I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? The environment of being in the streets, and then you get locked up, you come home, and you still got to face the world, the real world, the adversity, and that's all you know. But if that's all you know, that's kind of still your fault at some point. So my advice would be just, like you said, be yourself, but you got to find yourself to be yourself. A lot of us are lost. I'm talking about black men, like, and me, I ain't do time in jail, nothing crazy, even though I was faced with time and I was able to maneuver that situation. But since I was 13 up to 35, I've still been holding my mans down that's doing time. Like, it felt like I've done time with them.
Wow.
I was always the one, yo, they hit me, I send them a little kite, I respond to their letters. I ain't do it as often, but every now and then, every few months, yo, here's 50, here's 100, here's 60, even to this day. So I think when that same shit I say to my mans, everybody got that story, yo, when I come home, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be this, I see what you doing, Keys, damn. But when you come home, don't just think it's gonna be like how it was 20 years ago, like you could just walk into my situation, like, and we gonna be hanging out. It ain't none of that. My shit is on the schedule, bro. I'm a businessman now. So you gotta kind of find your way. And I say to a lot of homies, like, listen, man, when you come home, things gonna be different, but it's a real world out here. So when you come home, you gotta really know what your purpose is. Whether it's your family, whether it's you gonna keep serving what you serve in the streets, figure out your purpose and own that shit. That's real.
Just to piggyback off, bro, I feel like men, they be scared to transition to doing a job because they got this thing. Well, I ain't working for nobody. I'm a boss. I ain't working for nobody.
That's
I'm
real.
a boss.
Ignorant.
You know what
It's
I mean?
ignorance.
But here it is. Now you don't got nowhere to live. You know, you trying to deal with females just so you can stay with them, you know what I mean? Like, wow, what you mean not working for nobody? Well, what you gonna do?
Man, there's too much opportunity out here.
They don't know how to do that transition, and then with social media now, it just make it even worse for people like that.
Facts.
They see, you know, you got all this designer or whatever the case may be, but shit, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, you wasn't with me grinding that thing up, you sleeping, whatever you was doing to get to that point in life, you know what I mean? So they just get caught up in the illusion and it just send them crazy. Like, but how bro said, man, you gotta find your lane. You have to find your lane.
And speaking on lanes, like I tell people, like it's like the shit is simple. Like the Garden State Parkway, you got north, you got south. You can't be trying to live that street lifestyle and doing right at the same time. Like you gotta, like, you either riding south or you riding north.
Damn,
Like
that's real.
That's how like for real. Cause like people trying to be on like this side and trying to, like, that karma is gonna keep on building up. So if you was in the streets doing bullshit and you in your 30s and you still doing bullshit, bro.
That's what I'm saying, becomes your choice.
Even if you fall back, you may be dealing with that shit till you in your 50s, 60s.
Facts,
Like leave that lifestyle alone, bro.
Dang.
Like people be like, yo, the way I cut off everybody that was just like me. When I was in prison.
Damn.
Like dead ass. Like niggas, they
know that shit was hard.
Talking that bull, like, bro, like we in here for this shit, and that's what you want to talk about, bro. Like I ain't read no hood novel books, cause that shit keep you like when you gonna change, like, yo, your change gotta be so drastic that people can't even see that like yo, when people be like, yo, people like, bro, that was you. I'll be like, bro, that was me, but nigga, I'm on Parkway South right now, bro.
That's real.
I'm on Parkway South right now. I'm not with that shit don't add up.
Yeah,
That shit
straight
don't
up.
make sense. It
It don't
don't.
make no sense. It just,
Do y'all feel it's this probably be the last, like, more so question that's dealing with this, because I really want to touch on the health stuff real quick, or the fitness stuff, so we got a few minutes left. But do y'all feel it's a pressure on black men to follow certain criteria, like always having to be the toughest person, always having to have all the most money, the swag, and be soft, and be popular, and be quiet? Like, is it a pressure on black men? Do y'all feel like that?
definitely, and it also has something to do with their upbringing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes us as men, we don't know how to show our emotions. We think that's a sign of
Touched it
weakness,
right there. There you go.
you know. So it just all of your upbringing. Because if you ain't had parents that was loving to you, I love you, son, you look nice, or whatever the case may be, love you, son, give you a hug, and just those small things help when you grow up. If you didn't have that, now that you're a grown man, you don't even know how to identify that. You just hard body, like, you know what I mean? You don't know how to show those type of emotions, so it's definitely pressure.
Yeah.
Definitely pressure. Definitely.
So you ain't receive that just growing up, like as far as?
Nah, I didn't. My pops was a worker, like, and he was in the union, so he Connecticut, Boston. Meanwhile, I'm with my home. I mean, brothers, sisters, stepmom. So, and even when he came home, I never seen him like on no affectionate type stuff. You know what I mean? It was almost like he married her for like a babysitter type shit.
Dang.
Word.
Wow.
That's how. So now I deal with that now. You know what I mean?
Rephrase that question.
Basically, do you feel there's a certain pressure on black men to be everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The protector, the hustler, have all the money, be fly, like have your sex game popping, like everything. Like, do you feel it's a pressure?
So yeah, I'm gonna speak from my point of view. Hell yeah, I think it starts when the father's not in the picture, and you're the only son. And for me, I had a younger sister. I had to be the man of the house. I had to be the protector.
That too.
You know what I mean? I had to be the one making sure we was good. And I had to be the visionary. I had to say, nah, this is it. I want bigger than this. And that travels. So the pressure, man, the pressure of depression, the pressure of real life reality. Some of us are living our second childhood. That's depression in itself, the mental aspect of what's going on, trauma. It's a lot of pressure, but they say, not to be corny and them, but pressure does bust pipes, right? So if you can face the pressure of life and keep pushing through, you'll be all right.
Do you feel that like now still, like the pressure? Because when I was young, I felt the pressure. But now I be in my own zone. Like I don't like when people be talking about like fashion brands, I don't be knowing none of that shit. Dead ass. I be in my own world, like my own zone. So I don't feel like the pressure to have to be this, have to be that. I don't be knowing what that is.
That's real. I just to touch on that question, I still sometimes face the pressure of becoming successful, or wanting to be more successful, not realizing what I already have, because I always be wanting more. So that'd be pressure on me as a black man. Like I gotta keep working, I gotta keep going. And at one point there was pressure on, you gotta do this, go to school, you gotta make sure you raise your child, this and that. That was a pressure, but now I control it because I've outgrown that pressure. But I put the pressure on myself day in and day out to keep going towards my purpose. So it's a good thing, but sometimes it can be too much on me, on my soul, because I'm just a human being, and that's just me putting more pressure on my back.
Yeah, that's a good question though. My pressure now, it'd be like me not being able to live to the standard to show up for my family, like letting them down.
Yeah.
Working so hard so I could make sure they good, So that's the pressure on me every day. So it's like a good and bad, because it's like
Facto.
you're not getting a lot of rest.
You're spending enough time.
Spending time with your wife, your kids, or because you grinding so hard. So they don't have to get it out the mud. So I be telling them like, don't worry, it'll make sense. You know, it'll make sense. Y'all gonna see my work ethic and it's gonna rub off on y'all. So that's my pressure that I deal with now. It's crazy.
And I could definitely identify with that. Just recently, you know, just graduating my grade, I wanted my GPA high just because I could model for my son. But it's like now, I try to, you know, seek God a little bit more with just being content in every situation and not have to constantly keep trying to strive for this, because I'm trying to provide for the family. So I'm getting less sleep, or now I'm not having so much joy when I'm around them. So it's like I'm meeting goals, I'm being able to provide, but while I'm here, I'm definitely not even in the fullest capacity of joy because I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling overworked, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we as brothers be able to balance that out where we put that work in but still be there to enjoy the fruits of our labor?
That's called financial freedom, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Because when you grinding to get to that level, you're going to have to sacrifice something.
Right.
You know, whether it's your family, whether it's gym. With me, it'd be family and gym. I like the gym is my therapy. Like, I needed to stay balanced. That's my balance, you know what I mean? I don't just go to the gym to, you know, it's really my balance in life to keep me striving hard. So, like, that sacrifice for me be real when I don't be able to get to the gym or, you know, my family, my kid, but it's just what it is until you reach that level of financial freedom.
Perception too, though. I think perception, because yo, like you could be living like from check to check, right? But if you come from making $15,000 a month, like you still feel like you good. Like them foreigners, like yo, they come over here and they be great, you know what I mean? Successful, you know what I mean? So
in their own right.
Perception, you know what
That's
I mean?
facts.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta have y'all again, cause we didn't even get to the fitness questions, but I'm still so happy that y'all came because this is a side that some people may not even have heard, or some people are just going through. So I really, really appreciate y'all for just sharing, you know, y'all knowledge and y'all experiences and just y'all advice and guidance to some of the men that's going through this and some of the women that's dealing with little brothers or uncles or baby fathers or boyfriends that they could share this too. So yeah, thank y'all so much. Any last words y'all have, or any advice y'all want to give to anybody or whatever y'all want to share? If I got certain things y'all want to share.
I'm gonna leave my people with this. Trust in the process, be fearless, and believe in yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said it like, if y'all really trying to change, look at it from the Parkway, like that's real, like that's how I changed. When I was in prison, that's how I changed. Like I looked at everything that was bad, that was over there. Everything that's good, that was over there. And I was rocking with the positive. Like you can't ride on Parkway North and South at the same time.
That's a good one right there.
That's a dope analogy.
Damn. Y'all brothers, man.
You don't have to.
No, I got to.
The pressure.
Man, the pressure, you know what I mean? Nah, it's real though, but I have to, man. I think what I want to just end it off, just we're in some tough times, right? You know what I mean? So it all starts with here. How bad do you want it? How bad do you fucking want it? And if you have a purpose, if you have a family to get, and you know that you need to take care of that family, you need to achieve whatever it is that you need to achieve, how bad do you want it? So just go for it, you know what I mean? Face adversity. As a black man, you're gonna go through that. There's no struggle, there's no success if there isn't struggle. So go through the fucking struggle and make it happen. Yeah. Greatness.
Thank you.
Those struggles is learning experience.
Yeah, it is.
Facts. So, you have anything?
Nah, the brothers done said it all.
Well, we thank y'all again for tuning in to the Health and Hip Hop Podcast Show with your girl, Health is Key.
And Composer Rev.
All right, and I guess shout yourselves out real quick.
It's your boy Beneficial. You can find me on social media, IG, The Real Beneficial, on Instagram.
Keo, catch me on Instagram, Keo_LMLD.
Keys, you'll catch me on Instagram. My massage business is BWS_massage. Yeah.
All right, y'all.